Romanticism was a movement that encompassed art, literature, music, architecture, criticism, and the writing of history in Western civilization from the late 1700s to the mid-1800s. In the middle of the 1700s, most writers and artists followed the classical movement, focusing on harmony and balance. However, by the late 1700s, poets and artists began to transition into the Romantic era, a period with a focus on internal conflict, the irrational, the emotional, and the transcendental. The late 1700s and early 1800s associated with the Romantic period were a time of turmoil. There are several large movements in place throughout the Western world. The United States had recently broken free from Great Britain, followed by the French Revolution. Napoleon was busy building and losing an empire in Europe, and much of the art and poetry of this time period focused on this turmoil. The most important touchstone of Romanticism was the free expression of feelings, a concept described by German painter Caspar David Friedrich as, "The artist's feeling is his law." Romanticism brought forth several popular poets, including Edgar Allan Poe, who discusses the depression of loss in his dramatic poem The Raven.
"And forget this lust in all," quoth the raven, "nevermore."
Many Romantic poets focused on the temporary nature of mortality. In the poem Ozymandias, Percy Bysshe Shelley talks about a traveler finding the broken base of a statue in a deserted land and discovering that it belonged to Ramses II, at one time the most powerful leader of Egypt.
I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things. The hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair." Nothing beside remains.
Likewise, many poets were inspired by the forces around them, and decried the loss of innocence inherent in a time of technological advancement. One such poet, William Wordsworth, thought of aging as a separation from the simple beauties that come from a spiritual connection with the land, described in Ode on Intimations of Immortality from Recollections of Early Childhood.
There was a time when meadow, grove, and stream, the earth and every common sight to me did seem apparelled in celestial light. The glory and the freshness of a dream. It is not now as it hath been of yore. Turn wheresoe'er I may, by night or day, the things which I have seen I now can see no more.
In summary, the Romantic era was a time of changing art, poetry, and literature based on internal feelings and influenced by tumultuous times.
Earth, Darkness by George Gordon, Lord Byron. I had a dream which was not all a dream. The bright sun was extinguished and the stars did wander darkling in the eternal space, rayless and pathless, and the icy earth swung blind and blackening in the moonless air.